Good afternoon, everybody. Tadi Georgia di Tonda di tesi ma shebe na zawe na sewa kayo de dewa na sewa shida me ore. Taji tende zhube ta jie dan zhube tende se di di tsik ni do ko ni ha ko chi ma na ore. zhube ta jie da zhe se di Tonda ji ge ha da shu sa bare. 디 대만이 나네 되는다면 대마생 디시고 하래. 아니 다들 땡데에서도 주베 타제도 되고 땡데에서 가더라. 주바도 제와 짬 많이 봐. 땡데에서도 채시 땡데다 채시 때는 이유가 나네. 아니 채시기 땡데 땡데디 그 땡데에 뭐 손자 내는 주베 타다 제서 말했어. 주베 타다 제와 뭐 손자 안 그 땡데레스. 땡데 임바티 채난 거고요. 니쪽 라비 정아바 나는데 다 라비 정아바 계시주디 차고요. 니 통다티.
So, to reiterate the subject matter that we discussed this morning, the primary subject matter of the fundamental verses of the middle we said was basically the dependent origination that is free from aid. Not streaming, okay. Okay. in real life?
아주 고소 출신 나는 여자디 좀 타지도 저 땡땡도 저 사러 와. 들려야 아닌 게 이제 전부지 여자디 여자 쪽이면 손상 대주디 이 좀 타지다 저 땡땡에서 되게 돈다 두두 수인스. 저 정도 사부를 나한테 사부를 손다 되 어디 쉬지.
So this morning I said that the text would be presented through 4 topics: the subject matter, the purpose, the ultimate purpose, and understanding their interrelationships. And so in terms of their purpose, subject matter, I said that the subject matter here is dependent origination that is free from the free from the 8 extremes. So to explain this particular point again, what is meant by the dependent origination that is free from the 8 extremes? Free from the 8 extremes points to the ultimate reality, and dependent origination points to the conventional reality. And so their interrelationship is such that because things are dependently arising, that therefore they are empty of intrinsic existence, and because things are empty of intrinsic existence, they dependently arise.
인도 동보 하나 땡데 라시나 땡데 하나 동보 라시 바디 디디는 같이 그래 디디 쪽을 땡 거야 다 땡주디 저주 쪽을 디래.
So in other words, the nature of the emptiness itself is dependent origination, and the nature of dependent origination in turn is emptiness. So this is a key point.
인도 샤랍 용보나 술을 동반이시 많이 동반이는 수신 많이 있었더라.
So therefore, in the Heart Sutra, when it says form is emptiness, form is not other than emptiness. Emptiness is not other than emptiness. So this is an example. So this can be applied to all other areas as well, not just form, physical form. So both Buddhist schools and non-Buddhist philosophical schools in India accept gross dependent origination. But here when we say dependent origination, it really refers and there is also a general understanding of dependent origination in general Buddhism, where the Buddha said, because of arising of this, that arises, because of origin of this, that originates. And all the Buddhist philosophical schools actually follow after this notion of dependent origination. But the exact nature of is understanding and the establishing the principles of dependent origination differ even within the Buddhist philosophical schools, among the Buddhist philosophical schools. That's why we have 4 philosophical schools, precisely. And that is because even though they all follow the Buddha's teachings on dependent origination, they have their own understanding and therefore interpretation of degrees of subtlety, in terms of degrees of subtlety of understanding dependent origination.
비행도 땜바당 뛰어바다 채바 숨 쉐바자고요. 그래서 제시라디 제시라디 숨도 땜바지게 뛰어바지게 편주 뛰어바지게 안 채바지 땜뛰어 채숨스 땜내게 된다.
So dependent origination is explained through three levels of relationships, or three distinct relationships. One is relationship of dependence, the other is the relationship of reliance, and the third is the relationship of contact.
this. 다 뛰어봐도 채바지디 되게다 제주를 이루고요. 땜백이 제주. 뛰어봐당 채바지디 땜백이다 제주 지체. 다 되디 안에 낭버주다 전도니야. 제시자에 나오죠. 뛰어봐당 채바지디 다 뭐 당고 땜바선 디디아니 사보지간 두고 가세요. 땜당데 땜당데.
So the two the last two categories of dependency, namely reliance and contact, is something that is common to all, and this is explained also in the lower Buddhist schools. But then the first one, that is the relationship of dependence, tempa, that is a very subtle and unique form of understanding in the dependent relationship.
다 아주 좀 내 남바가 좀 내되게 제선단 좀 내되게 너나 송송한데 요번에 닌 용세 다 텐데 송에도 좀 내는데 아주 좀 내되게 제선단 거에도 저어디 가르세나 좀 내는데 되네 쳔발라나 매와당 마와라나 매바레스 마원 다메레스 마원 다메 봐 어디 저기 타만 오고도 담바텔라 차슬로스 마원 담에 보면 저어디 마에 주저어디 쳔반 담에 봐줘요. 쳔반 가르치면서나 아니 땡데기 내로 라관이 아주 뭐 타신 차와란 게 도진 현在친지 말로 dombe 쳔반 요송자 하는 아주 좀 되게 제수라는 땡데 마와 차대요. 잠리는 나라야 땡데 망에 망부 요리디 뭐 동나 먹을 땡데 망에 망부 중을 제 집아도 지난주도 망부지 대상갑이야 친구 볼 때면 때내 망부 지은 거 그러나 좀 되는데 이게 도마만 강술기 때내 생인데 신은 매도 중하지 맞지 땅 아주 친구고요. 습된주디 조절 때네.
So so the Buddha is said to be someone whose speech is peerless, matchless, and his speech is peerless and matchless because of his wisdom, because his wisdom is matchless, peerless. And the reason why his wisdom is considered to be peerless is because of understanding the nature of dependent origination and having the wisdom to reveal this particular point to others as well. So, as I mentioned earlier, the principle of dependent origination is something that is taught by others as well in ancient India, but even today, in terms of materialistic understanding of dependent origination, we have many traditions like scientific tradition and so forth. But the kind of dependent origination, the principle of dependent origination that the Buddha talked about is something that is very unique. So therefore, in the homage section, where it says, to whom the best of teachers, perfect Buddha, bow down. So the perfect Buddha, best of teachers here is for Perfectly, perfect. The perfect teacher, best of teachers, is because of having taught the principle of dependent origination. Best of teachers.
Oh yeah.
So we the best of teachers. The best of teachers is the like the someone that who teaches the principle of dependent origination.
The best of. Yeah. Then 다디 가래 다디 쳔바지 그래. 지 담바디 담바스도 가도라. 다음에 나서 마원 담에 뭐 유하래. 쳔바 담에 와들. 쳔바 쳔에도 가르치면 유선배. 어제든 저든. 다디 로스데. 다시 제장가 단디 아니. 아. 마원 담에서 다 마원 담에 내가 마원 담에서도 한 홍기 취 지금 제당데 아니 담에 있는 가르세나 쳔바 담에 때는 마원 담에 있는 가르세나 아니 제주 düğün 거니. 아까 제주 düğün 쳔바 파고요레스.
So why the Buddha is the best of teachers? Because of his possessing the best wisdom. He is the best of teachers because of 7 factors, 7 points.
Is teaching a speech. The teaching the 담바에 뭐 준비 가서는 쳔바 düğün 산지에 마와들래 쳔바 düğün을 제주 düğün 한번 산 거.
Because his
지게마다 치료가 나서 보다 그 최저바보다 따뜻한 망보여라. 네 리제 땡에서 개바도 쉬워요데 옛날 제주 düğün이 말해. 제주 düğün이 왜 찾니? 마원 담에서 그래. 마 왕추구서 마 싱게라고 그래.
And because his speech is sublime, because his speech is referred to as the lion speech, peerless speech, because his speech has 7 factors that supersede the speech and the teachings of other teachers. Even though like teachers of the Vedas and so forth, they are very, very profound. The Buddha's speech is therefore said to be excelling them. Because of 7 features.
당부 꿀웅 장마 꿀웅 인직신데와 최 마지막은 그런 꿀웅 누자들 편 타고 삼 꿀웅 지대 주제다 말이요 꿀웅 장마 꿀웅 인직신바.
The first feature, the first factor is the factor of motivation. Motivation that is characterized by the intention to benefit other sentient beings and not out of worldly concerns or pride.
이바데 무시 수무 갑소리 조자 님보 칭잠보 지 특수보다 마 칭잠신 조자 칭잠신 님바 칭잠신 님바.
And then the second feature is that his speech is pleasing to the ear.
되는 조자 삽신 덴바 혼나 덴바.
And the third is his speech is the subject matter of his speech is profound and reveals only what is real, what is truth.
된 제우 펜바바시 영화.
And then the result, the fourth feature is the result is that it only brings benefit.
누자라 참바 예당서 누지 앙보다 참바. 누지 수수 가리는 수수 예당 뭐바 앙보다 참바.
And that his teachings accords with the fifth is teachings accord with the mental aptitude and capacity of beings to be subdued, or disciples to be subdued.
두 따다 멤버 누지 앙보다 멤버 따다 순 거야. 그러나 순 두서대야. 근데 내가 따다 민대가지. 앙보 따다 멤버 갑도 순는 거야. 그러나 쳔바 쳔거야. 어디 있어?
And that he gives the third, sixth is that he gives the teachings at the right time for for each of the disciples. Like the right time, then that particular disciple would be liberated because of a particular teaching.
되네 거 말 왕주 말 생에서 달람이라고도 되네.
So that's why his teaching is referred to as the sublime teaching. Line speech.
네. 텐데 순간 잠을 세게 말해. 아니 텐데지 순간 잠기 호 마원다면 로문도 와.
So just for teaching the Tibetan origination, and therefore his speech is not referred to as sublime speech.
사뭇 땡진 대원 중앙. 땡데 똥바다 땡데 똥바다 똥바 땡데 내로도 송을 송자. 아니 사모 마운다메 tissen거. 마운다메.
But because he presented his teachings in such a way that the notion of emptiness does not contradict conventional reality.
다지 투샤웃. 다지 거르마 다 주주도 맞습니다. 강ገ땡졌어야 돼.
So now we go to the text on page number 2, those are following the English version. Homage to the three jewels, homage to the noble Manjushri, ever youthful, homage to the noble master Nagarjuna. To whom who taught that things arise dependently, not ceasing, not arising, not annihilated, nor yet permanent, not coming, not departing, not different, not the same, the stealing of all thought and perfect peace, to whom the best of the teachers, perfect Buddha, bow down.
Swami?
It's kind of stagnant here, the screen.
That's okay. That's okay. It's not. That's
It's okay?
Okay. Yeah. It's just okay. What do you do? Yeah. Let me know. Okay. So I don't want to go continue. Okay. Then that's it. That to be touched. That's it. So that 관계 땡징 되는 중 관계 땡징 되는 중 어디서 가더라? 땡데 사무 땡데 그 따와대 친지 말로 공도 쳐봐 관계에서 거래. 다 네가 저어디 마원 담에 비주 첨발란 매번 쉬어요. 첨바.
So to whom who taught that things arise dependently, in the first line, it basically refers to the Buddha's omniscience, the peerless omniscience.
관계에서도 뭐 숭에 땡데 땡 동해 땡을 쓰려서나 아니 땡데 내로랑 그 친지 말로 또 동해게 강사 뒤에서 뒤서다 좀 내려서.
So to whom basically refers to whom, for whom or by whom the principle of dependent origination is understood, and that basically refers to the Buddha himself, because Nagarjuna is paying homage to the Buddha. Not praising himself. This is paying homage to the Buddha for his understanding of the principle of dependent origination.
강그대정 대원 중 아니 강그대정 대원 중 어디 되셨다? 다 되네. 가봐매봐 째매봐 다 되네 가르쳐 그래. 가수 제대 시기하래. 딱 가수는 시제다. 가수 제대 가봐라서 제대 가수는 시제도 두쇼 시니야. 다나데다 모델라 가수는 시기하래. 가르 가어서나 냠샤가 시비스고라야 다 좀되네. 첨발라나 매번 순간 냠벌 샤시면 가네. 다 냠벌 냠샤디 승고 가는 줄서나 아니 낭줄레 록베 내수지요. 내수도 내루죠. 내루도 가르서나 내루라 아니 각바당 제와 다 제대 아니 내루로요 말해서 거. 내루함 리시징올라 리시징올라 요 말해서. 들어봐. 아니 냠샤가 올라 들어봐도 요 말이 내가 제바지도 리시 올라 디제도 들어 말해서 아니 매바 잘 돼. 이제 담대. 가쇼 시도.
So then where it says not ceasing, not arising, and so forth, basically reveals the 8 negative formulation of reality. Reality is formulated in terms of the reality has a negative formulation and as well as a positive formulation. Here, the 8 kind of types of negative formulation with regard to reality, and this reality is as experienced in the meditative equipoise pertaining to ultimate reality, and as the finding of the wisdom of analysis, analytical meditation, and analytical meditation pertaining to ultimate reality. So whether it is from the point of view of meditative equipoise, absorption into the meditation pertaining to ultimate reality, or it is the kind of analytical meditation pertaining to ultimate reality, from these points, there are no such thing as arising and ceasing and so forth.
The pena gaba meba sedwa. Unishin gaba yorowa. Aranso nang de jidigi, nang de jewa da gaba seti, nang de kunzu nang chu zam, nang chu kunzu nang chu ngo chu ding nang je gaba da jewa da gaba di nang chu zam ro. Ta di nang chu nang dang de kharedo sene yilu ji jewa na. Ta nang chu de gesa. nang chu gi matsim ba chen, doba makang wa chen, ne lu hang do dondam che bi ring ru se ga da. Rixi jing ru se da da. Rixi de ngor la ga de se na nang zam che me ma da. 강 nang ju chue de ba 푹 되네. 푹 되는 다 거 다시는 마 푹 되는데 가서 째응도 rixi 째 와. rixi 째 당 돼. 째고 윤제 가르세나 윤제 가르세나 다 뭐뭐마와 남지 째는 예고도 나로 와. 디 째버실라 낭낭 셔야 돼. 째는 예주 요랬어. 랑은 주변을 랑시 주변을스. 데 맨날 그때는 맨으로 와서도 다 내가 되고 두고 제가 제고 윤제 두고. rixi 제가 제고 당데. rixi 제가 제당제 제가 제고 윤제. 당부 제가 제당 된다. 낭주점이 말씀 봐. 근데 정안이 되잖아. 정안이 호라.
So when it says here not ceasing, there is no cessation. Generally, conventionally speaking, in terms of appearance, conventional appearance, of course there is cessation. We understand things to arise and things to come to an end. That is cessation. But our philosophical inquiry is not satisfied with this just conventional perception of there being a cessation or there being a rising. And when we engage in analysis because of not being content with our conventional appearance, then we are engaging in what we call as the analysis pertaining to the ultimate mode of reality. So when we undertake this ultimate analysis pertaining to ultimate reality, then we find that there is no actual cessation, and this basically contradicts the position of materialists and substantialists who actually maintain that even when we engage in this ultimate analysis, we will actually find the essence of things.
teacher. 제상 고바 다 들어다 다 고바 가르스나 돈남 제고 음에 그리바다 따지 셔거데 돈남 제고 윤제 가르스나 쟁가 탄이도 여바 잠니 쟁가 탄이 여바데 낭주지레 마도 베기 내루 말레스 내루 제고 윤제 가르스나 낭주데 저 샤나 상관 낭주데 낭데 요로 와 호 샤샤는데 낭데 요레 아니 렌제라 제 낭데 요레 마랑신 좀 랑은 저 낭거 요레 군다라 낭거 요레 나와도 샤샤나 하는 아주 좀 덴진디 무슨 통 말아 가서 거기 진당 유도 거기 기타 진술 하고 말아 대하마와나 아주 유일 주당 로 시바 유일 주당 될 때는 추당도 거 총 말아 어때는 애널리시스 제고 주는 때만 내가 말하는 영들 제주되는 말했어 네 하전 계시 못 참을 그랬어 애널리시스.
So therefore what is the purpose of engaging in this ultimate mode of analysis, because conventionally we understand that things have arising and cessation, and conventional, both in sense of our own innate experience. Innately we think that things have intrinsic arising and cessation, and also when we engage in the kinds of analytically, conventionally, we also sometimes come to a conceptually induced notion of there being arising and cessation and things like that. But if we leave it this conventional phenomenal appearance or perception of maintaining of experiencing things as having intrinsic reality, then we will not be able to eliminate the primordial ignorance of grasping to things as having intrinsic reality. And that is why we engage in meditation, analytical wisdom. So therefore, analytical wisdom is not something that we engage in because we don't have anything else to do, but this is actually extremely important in terms of removing our confusion regarding primordial ignorance of grasping to things as truly existing, and therefore which causes all the confusions regarding confusions such as the negative emotions. How that is basically in the domain of conventionality, how our mind and thought observe objects, and how we get confused with the objects, and how we cling to those confusion as well. So this is the main purpose for engaging in this analysis, to basically uproot confusion or ignorance. So, actually the text talks about no ceasing first, followed by not arising. And you might actually think that this, the order is a little bit like, mixed here, because, first when we think of cessation or ceasing, we think of first there being arising. Only based on that there being arising, then we can understand cessation. And why is this particular order? Some say that it is simply for the sake of poetic kind of poetic kind of elegance, because it is actually in the Sanskrit and in the Tibetan and probably in the Sanskrit that it is more easy to spell it like that, to pronounce it like that. But there is actually no contradiction, because but I have my own take on this, why cessation comes first. Because I think this is the order, because they cannot be arising because without being the cessation of the cause of that arising. The cause of arising has to cease in order for there to be arising of that thing.
samu ma tapsuna tawada juji nyuji mendo tapne kiji niwa sumbada ni ju mingdu samu gasado wa samu gasa nyungu chusaro was.
For example, when you plant a seed and before and then the seed germinates into a shroud or something like that, shoot or something like that. But before the germination, the seed has to cease. Before there being a rising of that shoot, the seed has to come to an end.
남도 치마 찌와 남도 아마 가봐 뛴 거도 남도 아마 지금 가에 남도 지면 남도 치마 찌기 말아 와. 가도 자와나.
For example, like without ceasing the first moment of thought, there cannot be the arising of the second moment of thought. So this is what I think is the reason here. So otherwise, generally, like it makes more sense for for Nagarjuna to talk about arising first, followed by cessation. So that is the reason for presenting cessation first.
아니 저거디 낭바차셔나 지라망도 더도 저게니 쟁가디 단 뒤제 샤지디 계신부지고 와 쟁가니 라시 주 쟁가니 여가 순서 라시 주브레서 쟁가 라시 주면 쟁가 여가 순서 쟁가 라시 주브레서 지단이 라시메서 정말서 오마발 라시메서 대배 체벌다 버렸어.
And
나부주자 차잖아. 근데케 랭스 저다야.
So the notion of ceasing and arising is taught first here because even the first two Buddhist philosophical schools, the Vipassana school and the Sautrantika school, even as they accept the basic principle of dependent origination, actually think that to say that there is no cessation and arising is actually a nihilistic view, simply put. Because they maintain that dependent origination is possible because of there being arising and cessation. Because of there is true arising and true cessation, therefore the compounded phenomena actually exists. This is basically to prove that there is intrinsic reality to compounded phenomena because there is intrinsic reality to birth and cessation.
되죠. 제가 오메가디 쪼강도와 대대강도와 내루 낭주자만 내루 깨도 가봐야만 깨와야만 상마 주도 송생도 냠도 상마 주도 냠도마 저번에네.
So therefore, but in the Madhyamika case, they specifically negate the idea of true cessation and true arising, and
다 되네죠. 오야 당아주디 다디 제가니 가쇼네 돈음지 주지 다데 가쇼는 한 천배나 제가 매주 천배나 안데 상마 두 지고 지바레스 가쇼네.
So the remaining 6 formulation of reality we can easily understand when we understand this within the context of there being no arising and no cessation.
어디 다 두쇼는 시에나 가래다디 다 두쇼는 시에노 가들라 가바요 제와요 라시지 매장 두쇼니 가바요 제와요서 생각이가 요서.
So then from a positive formulation of reality, then there is both cessation and arising.
얘는 자가 개발속에 가밤에 봤어도 오버 가밤에 봤어. 오버 가밤에 봐. 안에 주진 제밤에 봐. 안에 숨바도 주인 차밤에 봐. 다도 매내 봐. 다도 내 봐. 다밤에 봤어도 가도 다도 내 봐. 어떻게 주샤? 제주는
So in the Indian commentary, it talks about there is no cessation to existent things, and that there is no arising due to causes and conditions. And then with respect to the not annihilated is because there is no annihilation of continuum, and permanent, no permanent means because there is no permanence with respect to eternal abidance.
Oh, that one never so to that never was. That one never to that never.
So permanent here means, you know, to endure.
Never. That never.
To endure in time. So not permanent means not enduring in time.
That one members. Ta remove pa ta jansal pa ta nyesani. So yongwa. One members.
Not coming is, you know, coming from a distant
ta
place.
Nyesani so ta jansal so one member.
Not coming from a distant place to something closer to oneself.
Oh, ta do member so ta nyesani pa ta jansal do member.
And not departing means, you know, departing from a point close to you to a point distant to yourself.
타데 되면서도 가도 되 타데와 많이 봐. 되 타데와 많이 있어.
Not different means, like, you know, they are not different in terms of their identity.
되지가 많이 있어.
And not also identical. Same.
다 된데 가르스는 좁아져있어. 쟁가 여봤다 왔다 딱시 여봤다 된데 좁아져있어. 좁아.
So these maintaining that there is ceasing and arising, there is annihilation and there is permanence.
낭주잠을 셴바지 된데 되는 약쟁가 매원 쟁가 여 되는 딱시면 딱 따댕이 된데 상무염 땅에 로디 된데 유유진이가 로디 가지 좁아는데 유 가지 좁아는데 유진 가지 좁아니까 돼 좁아져있어. 좁아지냐면 시고 그래서.
So these are forms of proliferations, conceptual proliferations, whether we can understand that in terms of objective proliferation or subjective proliferation. These are proliferations that must cease because of understanding of reality.
시템바스 다티디 주반이 시템바스 다디 가서 그래 가시든 고된 양의요. 주반이 시선 야제체 저저 허랑 주변 타지다 저 땡중도 주반이 시즈자 시니바디 양들 양의 텐데 요래서 개발수 수속 타도 고된된 양의 아 진이 야바체 뭐지 지 야신데 내로 야신데 와 저저들 주변 타지다 때는 허랑 야신데 와 내로 허랑.
So the stilling of all thought and perfect peace. So there is like two kind of peace in the original Tibetan and Sanskrit, which is kind of here translated as stealing and then peace. Some commentators say that in the first piece refer to the state of liberation, and then the second piece refers to the state of complete enlightenment. But you know, we can here understand them to refer to the wisdom that realizes the ultimate reality.
주반이지 시템바스 다 텐데 주바탐이 녀버 시백이 시바탈도 바디 전담바샤 띠땡땡바보 수스난 조브 산제레스 시템바 조브 산제 대바다 마오 다다 좀 산제 망부지원난 조브 산제 마오 땀지 마오 탐제 나니 아니 초도 지와 담바테나 차차노스.
So therefore, to whom who has showed or revealed this perfect state of peace, free from all these elaborations, which is the Buddha, to the sublime Buddha, therefore I bow down.
아니 좀 전에 너 나라야 동이 최종화 된지 공자를 공그 또샤 사무다와디 최종화 된지 되니 대 수지가 또두 말에 다다 때 누자 민도 되는가 나셀 판도는 검잡상이 신의 때 다다 노름 누자 민도 쓰네 되는 송어로 30조조 와선 누마치스 시와 최종화다만 송어래 어디디 주제 상태다 주바티 삽, 시, 주, 주저스. 치중하다 치주 숨바티. 좀 내데 뭐좀 상지는 아니 샤두나 제가 가지고 취 마송네. 슈거 세워로 와. 어디 랑 또셔게 되네. 타지다 때 땐데 삼 땐데 따와더니 아니 다 내가 지라 또는 두자 민두 노동 민두 또서 말했을 때 아파 나답을 봐 몇만 나답는데 내 백인 송을 해. 대가비 체중한테 난 체중 숨바티. 주저스인데. 삽지 주저스 주바도 참아대. 단디 소나 직발 주바진 시다 봤어요디.
So the Buddha is said to have said after his enlightenment that he has found this profound wisdom, that found his wisdom that is profound, like wisdom of reality that has 5 features. It is profound, it is peaceful, it is free from elaborations or proliferation, it is luminous, and it is uncompounded. It is uncompounded. So therefore, this is, when we say is the third feature, total, free from all elaborations or proliferations.
this is. 다디 찾으시면 주자스는 이제 단계 말이에요.
The Mahamudra understanding of proliferation and understanding of proliferation here, we should not mix them. They are distinct.
네 유내로 조시고, 네 유조적내로 조. 차세라 유전 조적내로 조체.
This primarily focuses on the emptiness or the conceptual the freedom of conceptual elaboration of objects, whereas in the Mahamudra tradition, the freedom of proliferation refers to subjective freedom, particularly the meditative equipoise.
다들 한 마시도 마시 틱시도 말로다. 이제 막 하도.
ቄ딱 봐.
말이 다들 말. 쳐봐 주사로 다들. 다 쳐봐 주사로. 다 쳐봐 주사. 단디 쳐봐 주레스. 단디 타지 단디 조절다. 조절되나. 단디는 엄마 잡아시라고 한강 하고 와줘래. 강강 땡진 잡아주네. 쓰니. 쪼바니 시템바 조보사님만 담바다 대바도 다 자식 조절 찾아가 된 때서.
So this completes the homage, but in the homage, the entire subject matter of the 27 chapters are also included actually. And how is this the case?
당고보마완남 현대도 인대인데 현대도 인대 유명교와 켈링 거 하신데 랑데 유명교와 켈면 랑데 전동이다 오지나 양 교와 매바 나서 랑삼 암전도 좀 하고요. 교와 유여바지 켈링 선자 아니 거기 교와 매바 나고 주는데 인데래 교와 매바이나 아니 주진의 교와 가르치게 쓰는 것도 아닐 때 잡지 당불어요. 다 찐 당봐. 주진 따지신 거.
So, for example, the first chapter, the examination of conditions, actually comes from the context of they being not arising, which is taught in the homage, they being not arising. And when this mention of they being not arising is mentioned, then this is something that is even difficult to fathom for the first 2 Buddhist philosophical schools, the Vipassika and the Sodrandika school. Because they, without like they being arising, how do you even explain dependent origination? How do you explain causality? And so therefore, they have, because like things arise, be dependent on causes conditions. So this is the principle of causality. This is the principle of dependent origination. So how can this be possible?
라시 줍된 제가 된 거 따지시기라. 제가 라시 줍된 제와도 여러 가봐 요새 제와 요베도 다 제수 따지시기 있으면 다 젠 따지시고. 우마로 젠 따봐서 좀 다 되는 거 다리 많이 시는면서 다 걔들 제거요 나가라도 마베 야 니게 저랑 유전된 제거는 다시 두고요나 당아도 진루지다 3당 그랬어 다 간데 제거 땅 그랬어 다 제나 안에 다시 제거도 다 따지시긴 있어 다 제당 따져 대가서 가보 뭐 깨우면서 능만 넣었다 다 매집이 준전이 제나 아니 제주지 오늘 돈 남아 제어준다 내로가 제어줘 그랬어 내로는 시로가 제어요나 안 다다 현다 니가 주매 가능 제어 시티실 제어도 다시 대신하는 맞이 넣으면 누서다 엄마 다 전화 전화 이거 다 정가 이부 주도 주랑 라시 요새도 왔어 다 정가 라시 요나 다 디시나 가을 찍어서 다 디시는 가을 두고 있다 당고 뭐 마을 봐 뭐 가고 다 하나 더 돼
So therefore in Nagarjuna's first verse the main interlocutors are what we call as substantialist or materialist, such as the Buddhists fall two schools, the Vipashka and the Tarantaka school, who maintain that there has to have actual true arising, because we cannot actually understand causality or dependent origination without it. So then with them in mind, Nagarjuna is now challenging them by saying that, okay, now we are going to analyze causality. We are going to analyze, condition, and if things have intrinsic reality dependent on causes and conditions, then there are four possibilities. Either the entity must arise from itself, or it arises dependent on others, or it arises dependent on both self and others, or it must arise without any causes and conditions. So now Nagarjuna is saying, we have to, what do you maintain? Do they arise from the self, or from other, or from both, or from without a cause? So therefore,
다 주진을 제당도 시워로 엄마와 저랑도 주진을 제와 이어서 내 되는 거였어 주진 제와 내 되는 거였어 제와 내 되는 거 주진 제와 내 되는 거였어 얘마 얘나양 저랑 나시기 라시 집에 제와 라고 집에 제와 내 되는 거 말이었어 산지 제가 매서 될 공성 받았어 낭수자만 내로 공성 받았어 다 되는 连 가지 않아서 다 그런 사람들 다 다리 맞이 셴는 미지 다리 깨와 랑시 집에 깨와나 다리 깨고래서 랑시 다리 제주 주고 그래서 다리 랑시 제주 좀 도에서 달 되베 랑시 제주 주동나 안다 되게래서 랑시 제와 치랑 이번 되게래서 다니 다리 깨와요 말해서 랑 깨와는 게기로 와 랑 자와 치면 게기로 와 어디 다니 깨와 말서도 다리 깨와 매스 누구 깨워요? 누구 지금 말해서 그래. 누구 싸우는 지금 된 깨워 말도 누구 깨나? 아니 깨워야만 깨워 되면은 아니 깨워 토바면 어떻게 하노? 두에 명, 세 명이 봐. 가나 될까? 저랑 걔들 누구 깨워야나스? 달리 깨워요 그도 왔어. 달리 깨워야나? 아니 깨워 되면은 그래서 나랑 깨서나. 깨워 되면이다. 그 장부 당부 줍사라서 랑시 줍사라 아니 깨고 문도 왔지 깨고 그걸 문도 왔지 토바야 말했다 랑 깨도 맞아 양주 깨고나 토에 맞아 깨고 되면도 투면 줄 수 당다 그래서 봐 뭐마
So what Nagarjuna is saying here is that to the substantialist, that he does not dispute the fact that there is arising and that there is cessation, but what he is disputing is there being intrinsic arising, that there being arising from the side from the side of the object themselves, from the mode of ultimate reality, and not in the world of apparent conventionality. So he says that apparently, in the conventionally speaking, there is arising and there is cessation. But from the ultimate mode of reality, there is no cessation, there is no arising. And so therefore, if there is such arising from the point of view of ultimate reality, or if there is such arising due to its self-nature, then there are four possibilities. One possibility is that arising must arise from itself. That whatever entity or phenomena arise must arise first of all from itself. This is one possibility if there is ultimate arising. Not the ultimate arising means without having to depend on causes and conditions. So therefore, the idea of a shroud arising from itself is something that is contradictory, because if it arises from itself, then there is no need for its arising, because it has already arisen. And so if then you maintain that even if it has already arisen, it still needs to have some sort of cause, then we have the fallacy of what we call as infinite regression in logic.
I think we use analysis here. The metaphor actually is a concept thought. 남도 배주 당나 가도 남도 가면 가 치마 제선 저와 니루라 남도 가면 가에 메스 가봐 메스 남도 치마 제에 메스 아수 남도 야나한테 편동서와 다 배전은 사용도 유지하셔와 다들 되잖아.
So maybe
남도 중요해야.
If we apply this to our own experience of thought, it may be helpful. Even though in the scriptures there is the seed and the shout. Seed, if we basically refer to our own concepts or thoughts, so generally and maintain that there is no true cessation of thoughts and no true arising of thoughts.
되잖아. 남도 가서도와 남도 가송 생수지. 남도 차라 가송 세대. 군습 유진 zaman 땡데 군습 땡데 때가 좀 샤르마도 실루가 내루라 남도 가요 말해. 내가 남갔다고 똥바는 가도요 말해. 남갈 가요 말와. 태어나시 남도 치마 제세디 군습 차니 제단 샤르마도 내루려 방금만 내루라 남도 치마 제요 말해. 남도 가시니까 내루를 샤셔나 전담을 하시 매바 손자 남갔다 그러와. 남갈 제가요 말와. 어디에 있다. 돈다디 하고 지금 아주 사람들 용 가리는 거 빼자와 잡아와. 수수잖아. 예. 샘주 수잖아.
So like if we apply this logic to our own thoughts, conventionally speaking, we say the cessation of the former thought, and then there's the early arising of the second thought based on that, which all makes sense within the domain of conventionality. But at the level from the point of view of ultimate reality, which is like space, there is no true arising and therefore no true cessation as well, just as space has no true arising and no true cessation.
남도 치마 찌어야 돼. 남도 가면 가도 찌어라 와. 남도 가면 가봐 남도 치마 찌어 타냐 따와잖아요.
And the arising of the latter concept is understood to be so because of the cessation of the former concept.
나도 치마 찌어봤자면 남도 가면 가서 그래. 찌어봐 대화랑 가봐지 하셨다.
The arising of the latter thought simply is also referred to as the cessation of the former thought. So arising itself is actually cessation. That is conventionally speaking.
다 딘데 삼당하나 안 한거죠. 제와랭스 미 제와 리본 and death 성조로 치워든 깨워서디 치에면은 제면도 제면은 제야 말이야. 권이 땡대로 와.
So we can also talk this in terms of birth and death, that because they are dependent, there can be no birth without there being death, and there can be no death without there being birth from the ultimate point of view. So in terms of ultimate reality, there is no death. That simply is such something that is named or understood based on there being based on birth. And birth is understood. Birth is also understood to be so based on the notion of death. So both birth and death are something that is only understood in the conventional world through mere conceptual imputation, and not from the point of view of ultimate reality. So that is something that we should understand, that conventionally, in terms of our conventional experience, we understand that there is birth, and then we have to undergo death, and we generate fear because of birth, we generate fear because of death, and within the domain of the 12 links of dependent origination, we think that we undergo birth, which is a form of suffering, we undergo death, which is a form of suffering, but from the ultimate point of reality, these are all something that is conventionally understood in terms of their dependently arising nature. They are but mere appearance to a conventional mind, and this from the ultimate point of reality, there is the pacification of all of these conventional appearances. So that is what is meant by gaining peace or state of pacification from all of these conceptual elaborations. So therefore, so therefore, for practitioners, we have to deal with, as a practitioner of the profound teachings on emptiness, we have to deal with our understanding of birth and understanding of death, and not actually by not being satisfied with our conventional perception, not being satisfied with the mode of appearance. There's the understanding there's a distinction between apparent reality and the ultimate reality. So in terms of apparent reality, we naturally construe or understand there being actual birth and actual death. But then we have to, not contented with this perception, appearance, we engage in their ultimate reality. Is there true birth? Is there true death?
상무따와라 박자샤 그래 아니 내가 팬도이요 알레 제와도 젠치 생각이 되네래도 와다 되는데 그 젠치랑 시 주문도 로 충고 잠래도 삼촌은 팬통으로 와 그러와 제와도 시다 엑사이드 샤디에 저다 치와도 시다 암다시에 따에 민도 와 정보 삼다나.
So when we understand this meaning of emptiness, then our ordinary excitement of birth and ordinary fear of death gets diminished, because these are just mere appearances to deluded appearing to one's own deluded mind. And therefore, this is something that helps our own practice. Otherwise, if we say this is to negate the Vibhashika school or Swatarandika school, or this is to negate the Hindu schools, like then they are not actually here. So what is the point of negating them?
Bullshit. So we have to face inside. Then we see what mean Buddha said this. Buddha Sanjay Khanisung. Oh yeah. 10 minute break. 10-minute break. 단디 저 인질 다지 로사야 메디 달마시 로사라와
Logyur.
단지 더 말로
So the first verse that I described, I explained earlier, I'm going to read the first verse. Not from self, no, not from something else, not from both and not without a cause, does anything, whatever, anywhere, at any time arise.
The langdo the an examination of condition langdo how the 见大巴是对啦，那个堂
So
见大巴。
the first chapter is entitled An Examination of Conditions.
当主见大个嘛的，那路见大个是不是？
And the
当主咱们见大个是大个习惯嘛，或当主嘛个我有的哇。但那路看的时候见习的那路看的是，可能就他这个看的是啥？是他日式结巴性大个习惯。
So this is not an examination of conventional reality or the way things appear, phenomenal appearance of things. So when we are examining conditions here, we are not examining conditions from the point of view of conventional reality or the reality as appears to us, but from the ultimate point of view, ultimate analysis.
同他把的见识都这么大个的，大致的。
So in other words, we are analyzing if there is ultimate conditions. In other words, if there are conditions that have self-nature or self-power, self-nature, Rangshin.
대인도 좀 내내 가르쳐서나见到거든 돌 쳐버려 봐. 수 개월 매대 송. 너나. 수 개월 매대. 수백년. 뭐 주다. 너나.
So of course all of this analysis comes from the context of sutras. So in one of the sutras, Buddha says, there is no arising to form.
다 들어야 고물르기 니바들. 가봐면 째매봐. 째와매봐 니바들.
So here Nagarjuna says of the eight negative formulation of reality where Nagarjuna says there is no arising.
네. 다 네 돈다 가르쳐 그러잖아. 좋은 네 단다디 examination 최고디. 라운딩 오버 마와 남지. 유진 때는 제샤가 돼서 한가로 다를 게 멤버 처럼 저 당수 나 킬링 게 다를 게 오면도스. 빨리 제가 마와지 다고 저다 다를 게 오면도스. 다시니가 게 오면도스. 아자. 아자 일만 해서. 다시니가 게 오면도스. 유명하게 게 오면도스. 얘나 양스. 셴의 게 오면서 생기바디. 다음에 셴의 때 저거 자기도 삼고 뭐 마와서 낭바시 찾는 거 마와서 현지리 저 현지나 저 현지 딴 메시도 타니도 현지 와서 딴 메시도 왔어 현지 랑시 좀 말했으니까 때문에 현지 타니 면도 그래 뒤단 되게만 되게 켈렌 동문도 어서 그래 다 신한 타수 내가 샤셔스다
So the Buddhist material So the Buddhist materialists, like Vibhashka and Sotarandika, when they conceive of this statement by Nagarjuna, they are ready to accept that, of course, things do not ultimately arise from self. Things do not arise from both self and others. Things also do not arise without a cause. But definitely things arise from other causes and conditions. And if this is not persisted, that things arise dependent on other causes and conditions, then the conventional reality collapses. So this is what they have in mind. So therefore, Nagarjuna is basically engaging them. So he's negating even the notion of arising dependent on causes other than itself, causes and conditions other than itself.
Tadi unlesina 각부지 열다 신의계와 매서 합독이라고나 별 관계 전에 개바치 개바 가시 우메로 현지 탄이 잠도 열에서 그래 낮에도 열 말했고 그 달제도 열 말했어 가서 달지하셨나 달제와 열 말이 되냐 현지다 랑은 저 라시 저 현지가 말 현지 탄이 좀 샤초 그래서 개와 열에 야가를 열에 그러면 리대지 저거래 좀 지난 거 열에 장지버스 봐. 현지 탄이도 모두서라. 탄이도 현지단 매 라시나. 다 넘버 2 현지에 매서 되도 탄이도 현지면한다. 다 대산 되면도 세게 전도니 맞게 오면 들어나 캐는 거 열어라. 별라야 캐바 시스 캐바 가시기 오면 텐지로 또 차잖아. 현지 탄이도 샤는 적사를 했어. 탄이 현지 유스. 라시 좀 현지에 매서 마도. 근데 캐는 거 아주 저도 강말 되네. 나서는 같이 중용을 했었다. 근데 따와도 사보이면 손 차와이면 손다래스 똥발에 땡땡이 남신 정도 식도 차와이면 손다 뒤 맛이 내지 근데 연구래스
So the idea that things arise dependent on causes and conditions other than itself is not something that is maintained by so-called Buddhist lower schools like Sodandika, like in Mapashka, but even in the Madhyamaka tradition, in the Indian context and in the Tibetan context, some Madhyamaka scholars and traditions actually think that we have to maintain that at least the idea of arising from other causes and conditions must be maintained at the conventional level. If we don't maintain that at the conventional level, that things arise conventionally dependent on causes and conditions other than itself, then we cannot actually even establish the validity of conventional reality. In India, one such author, Madhyamika master, is Bhava Viveka, like Denje in Tibetan, who maintains that even though from the point of view of ultimate reality, there is no arising even from other causes and conditions other than itself, but at least at the level of conventional reality, things arise because of causes and conditions other than itself. And this is also something that is maintained by Tibetan scholars who even claim themselves to be in the Prasangika Madhyamaka tradition, who maintain that conventionally we have to accept that things arise because of dependent on causes and conditions other than itself.
탄이 스르 치저 긴데바 탄이 스르 시행의 속에 뭐 텐주로 현지 매도 숨거려 되네. 뭐 텐주로 현지 탄이도 매세다. 탄이 스르 샤니도 당 가자 참고만 삼단 학부 요사레스티.
So in the case of the later Gelugpa scholars who simultaneously maintain that there is no true arising even at the conventional level, and simultaneously maintains the validity of conventional reality. This is a very fine, difficult point to actually maintain these two positions without any contradiction.
단위도 현지 캐면은 단위도 단위스로 캐는 미세 가면도
if there is no arising from other causes conditions conventionally, then you simultaneously how can they actually also assert the validity of conventional reality?
나디 지나서는 그냥 퇴바지 잡아래. 대 시제대 봐. 시제대 봐. 10세 나 현지 생리. 현지 가서인데 전도인 주고다 당고마와 주고 가마 임바세. 그냥 디코 따월 파 가자 파 잔는 가자 차차를 전 세여서 와.
So therefore
단위 메시지.
So I just so whether there is
가자 맞아 보이나요?
conventional, whether there is arising dependent on causes and conditions other than itself,
they can see.
At the conventional reality, that kind of caution I wanted to kind of convey here is not something that is to refute the Vibhashika and Sautrantika schools, but even in the so-called higher schools, the Madhyamika school, depending on the subtlety of what we call as the object of negation, they also have different kind of understanding of this particular formulation. And for those of us so for those of us who don't have a understanding of the emptiness view, even when we hear this, that thing, even conventionally, there is no arising dependent on causes and conditions other than itself. We may think that statement as kind of crazy, because we think that of course things have arising or birth dependent on causes and conditions other than itself. Like our parents give birth to a child, and seed germinates into a sprout, and so forth. So therefore, we need to understand the notion of non-arising to be able to understand arising in the first place. So generally we say the syllable, the letter A, is to symbolize the non-arising nature of phenomena. So A is simply a symbolic indication. We have to understand the meaning of non-arising within our own mind. So when it says in the third line, does anything, whatever, anywhere, at any time arise? So anything means, all phenomena, whether they are included within one's continuum, whether one's psychophysical continuum, or external things that are not included within one's own psychophysical continuum. That is, all phenomena do not have intrinsic or inherent or true arising and true cessation from the ultimate point of view. So even though there is conventional arising and conventional cessation, what Nagarjuna is saying is that from the ultimate point of view, there is no true cessation and no true arising. So this is his fundamental position, and he's going to defend it.
Now, as our 냠내 신경전 단지 나가 삼당 것은 담자샤이 뜻하다. 다 남도스. 나가 남도스. 나가 셈 주와. 나가 셈 남도디. 다 소소. 남도도 갈 때마다 통구도 와. 때 남도디 때마 마 달아야 때는 지기도 다면도 따지지체. 야, 티 많은 게 디제도나 달에 제사월이 셴을 제사월다. 코 때인디 때마 아주 그 때마로 아주 때 순자 달에 때마리 셴의 때마서 다시 이제 송하고. 디 참지당. 되네 다시 얘가를 제일 삼당 수조 남도세나 남도 차당 남도 가르쳐서 어디 차당 남도 제 온도 좋아 대세랑 수조질 차당 남도 온도 좋아 대세 대 차당한테 달 되는 제도 다 수조잖아 다 수조되는 제도 아니 남도 호랑 되는 제도 야 유신년 되는 제도 다시니가 되는 제도 야 남도 들어가서 주면 제면 제도서는 와가서 냠는 사무전 냠는 어떻게 삼당 거고요. Yes.
So for those of us so the previous is basically the philosophical position, but in terms of applying this to one's own practice, if we wanted to practice the profound teachings, then we have to analyze, our own concepts and thoughts, and we have to understand generation of our thoughts like negative emotions of desire or hatred and hatred and attachment, and to see whether this concept of hatred and desire arise from itself or whether it arise because of dependent on other causes and conditions, or whether they arise from both oneself and others, or whether they arise without any causes and conditions. I think most probably we think that they arise without any causes and conditions. Maybe they arise from our brain, maybe they arise from our heart.
What do you think?
So this is how we should analyze. Then it'll be very, very beneficial for us.
남도 제도가 나다 이해와 채통문도 와. 차당 제도가 더 차당로 강으로 냠도 제고 말아. 차당로 강으로 찍문도 주는 가더라. 나도 예매가 제도. 마생도 예매도. 너무도 돼 하고 와시고도 왔어.
So when
we 하려고 맞아. 나 삼나도 예와 채통문도 봐. 되는 제어로 지문도 왔어. 나도 기억도 없어.
So when we experience
desire
or hatred, like a strong desire, hatred,
at that moment
when we analyze, we think that it arises simultaneously from the self, with the self. Inseparable. The self and the desire become inseparable.
That's why we get very emotional, right? Me? How are you talking about me? Me? Like this, right? Or this is me, is 달이 깨어 하려고 말해. 와. 뜻은 남도도 샤사도. 달이 깨어 진사래.
Even though we don't maintain it, we are acknowledging from within ourselves that the emotion of hatred or desire arise from the self. Indivisibly.
다양하도 그 소소리야 미지 껴줘서나 랑섬 신의 제원 정도 다티 신의 소샤레스 그 마중 많이 가도 코인스 뭐인스 다 신바 카보셔 와 랑섬 신의 제원 정도 야지도 남도 카파보살돼야 그 다이스 로도 다 지지 양 카파로도.
But when we generate anger because somebody said something negative about us, complain or like criticize us, then we think that the source of that emotion is actually outside oneself. He or she said something, therefore I'm angry. And so therefore we think that anger arises 100% because of other condition from the other.
다 남지 normal 남도 어디 발막이 지 차도 시당도 하야만 발막이 호지 다신 대만 도지 남명하다 여시마도 다신 대만 도지 마 남도 지대도 봐.
And the neutral emotions, that are not like extreme state of emotions, neutral kind of thoughts and so forth, we think that they equally arise from self and others.
다들 남도 계지 랑상 남도 계지 가면 치마 튀샤한데 지 합토도 야 합토 되면 되지마도 그 유도见到 电视도 가 명에서 창도 와 어디 주매 찾을 때.
And then, when we conceive of the momentary nature of emotions, one moment of emotion passing, and then you experience the next moment emotion. And when we think about these momentary emotions, we think that they arise without any causes and conditions.
아주 expectation 패치 된대로 와. cause the condition 때문에 expectation 망부지 가지고 나와 추는 샤르고 와서 expectation 망부지 가지고 여러 와서.
So many of our expectations are based on such understanding of our emotions as actually coming because without causes and conditions.
어떻듯이. 대 마주도 그때인데 누가 당내면 마주도 안 가지고 선수 차 공로 사시고 와서.
And when we don't, when our expectations are not realized, then we get discouraged.
다시 담자서 어디. 뭐 하나 제와나 여마 이 남이 여마 담자야 돼. 가지고 담자고 그러다. 엄마는 되게 그 대응 가지 가지고 담자고 그래. 가지고 언제 더 봐줘 여러 왔지. 누구요? 다 만드는 민디 그렇지. 선선 다 담자고 가지고.
So just as Nagarjuna was,
현재 담자 가지고 누가
just as Nagarjuna was basically holding a position in the beginning,
아주 어버저도요. 개와 여 담자를.
we are innately holding these four positions, that there is intrinsic arising, intrinsic cessation, and so forth. The opposite of what Nagarjuna is trying to defend. We say, things arise from the self, things arise from others, things arise from, without causes and conditions. So this is our reality, something that we have to acknowledge. So therefore it's very important, like there is the philosophical presentation of the teaching, and then how do we actually apply this into our day-to-day life. Because we are supposed to be the practitioners of profound wisdom tradition.
Our mental capacity or situation looks like how it looks like. The handle of some down. I'm calling the good show. The share shouted and the rank junior the Jan.
So therefore, we should try to integrate the teachings in terms of our own experience.
뭐 한다 하나 깨워나 여만이 찍대 두는 샤시. 근데 갈라고나 삼대. 낙보던 아주 며칠 돼서 하나 뭐 보셨는데 여마 깨워 여마 랍선다. 다 아주 센티스 좀 먹어라. 못해 먹어야 돼.
So when it says 가르송다. 가르송 고저.
뭐 하나 깨워나 여마서 여러 와. 뒤다 뒤 얘기 제수 눈을 샤샤나 한 하고도 왔을 때 로체 저 가리나 서도 가더라 뭐 하나야서 천대기 낭신인데 제가 이동 뭐 한데 저는 간가도 전 담아도 깨워 문도 왔을 때 저한테 첨부체 얘는 네다 아주 대시 약보지 한 마고나 다 돈다 한 마고나 다 사이언티스트 그냥 그렇게 시험나 계시 하고 샤사로 왔어 와 친구분도 제셔는 뒤깨워 연말하서나 안다 고도 제행하면 문도 왔어
So therefore, we should keep these first verse written down on, and then put it on the table in front of us, and then we should contemplate on why there is no birth, why there is no arising from from the self, from the other, and from both, and from without any causes and conditions. And this point is very, very profound, because when we are not able to explain this properly, then we will not even have a common point of discussion with scientists. If we go to a scientist or community of scientists and we say, there is no matter, then we will have no common point of discussion. Whereas if it's Vipassana or Sautrantika school of philosophy, they have much more things in common to discuss with scientists. The Buddhist materialists.
But in a young, over the chance to have the Kewa may say the Kewa Madame Netu Yabuji couldn't deja to ena, and Kalikawashi Yamaris. Eugene Chesha or Tijuana killing Eugene Jawa Trahana. Could Eugene Jawa Trahangi could Nancy Tadu the K melt Shagures. Horan K mail, this didn't go. Ransi Tadu K and Ransi Jawa, teaching Horan Gabova. The K melody. 대가랑 하라네. 뭐지는 제주신 이거 뭐 제주신 거 네바 정도 펑션다. 로왕다. 윤조다. 되죠.
Because we were able to actually explain this principle of non-arising, then it is there is no contradiction, because things do arise dependent on causes and conditions, therefore there is no true arising. So there is no contradiction. Whereas, on the other hand, if we say that they have intrinsic arising, or intrinsic or inherent true existence, then what we are basically logically forcing ourselves to admit is that they arise without depending on causes and conditions.
When it is rising,
so therefore the very understanding of arising points to its non-arising. Because arising is because of dependent causes conditions, and because they depend on causes conditions, there is no true arising.
And Buddha mentioned that. Buddha also said,
so that's what also the Buddha said in the sutras. Whatever arises from conditions do not arise.
Oh,
because that arising has no true nature.
And
whatever is dependent on causes conditions is empty of intrinsic existence. And whoever understands emptiness in this way is conscientious.
바위 두지다 봤을 때보다 이시고 시랍고 버려. 대다 보게 최 남자기 되니 낭순 가보면 봤더니 내로 호랑 샤당도 나침바이나. 다디 아니 바위암 시랍타도 버려서 이 바위 시랍잖아 야.
So this conscientious is not just ordinary conscientious. This is basically primordial wisdom, understanding the reality as it is.
바이나 시딩 나라에 바위 두지네인데 밤에 봤다 따도 시스도 와.
And in the Nagarjuna's friend to the letter to a friend, when he says the conscientious is beyond death. The ones who don't have conscientious experience death. So therefore, this is like the nectar of deathlessness.
강시 똥리시의 바요인 다 되셔. 어다 대인도 다시 젠다블 리브도 다시 재워놨네. 현지 가수 재워내 봤으면 현지들 쳐야지. 다 현지들 쳐도 아니다. 너인데 어디 산다. 식시 조사 소개와 매서 대당 다당 주소. 강견의 tema 되서디 도도근 대와 돌 공동을 다들 그 사와시라나 거다 개와면 지도만 하면 와 되데마 제시장도 가들라 현지가 까발 때니 그지 되면 투영도 가들라 아니 현지 가지 кел는 거 말해서 내룰 현지 나술 현지 여장 내룰 현지 여 말해서 고물도 주거든 대시 세시 서다디 라비 당보디 见大致性见大致局见大致性大空个第三个送个
So therefore, in the first chapter, Nagarjuna explains why there is no true arising, or why there is no arising, even in the sense of arising from other causes and conditions other than itself. And this is actually relied on the Buddha's actual teaching sutra, where the Buddha says, as I mentioned earlier, when the Buddha says that whatever is dependent on causes and conditions does not have actual true arising. That I just translated earlier. And so the rest of the chapter is basically Nagarjuna defending why there is no arising, even in terms of causes and conditions other than itself.
다들 깨워나 여마다 담제살래 봐. 깨워나 여마 담제를 가르쳐서나 뭐 저랑 저기 유전되는 제대로서는 내 유전 딱지신 제다 봐. 딱지신도 가들라. 다 내신도 가르니 예수서나 뭐들라. 신앙주 가르는 탄이 담는 제와 여서 마도 군접수 제와 여 제가 제를 마도 된 담을 깨워 민도 라신 그런 딱지도 깨워 민도 내로 딱지 깨워 민도서 다 공부 담자샤. 게임에 담자샤. 깨워면 담자. 타지 한 게임을 다 공부를 담자샤.
So therefore,
담정고 샤도 쇼다 쇼 담제 라신 마도 된 거. 깨워 라신 마도.
So therefore,
유제 라신 마도.
The first verse is Nagarjuna presenting his position, and where he says that the position is that there is no arising with regard to all phenomena from all these four possible alternatives, from self, from others, from both, and from without a cause and from without causes and conditions. And so therefore, with this position, Nagarjuna is also basically maintaining that there is no arising, and he's going to defend it. The position of non-arising, the position of asserting that there is no arising. So even for Buddhapalita and Chandakirti, this is their fundamental position too. With regard to this chapter, there is no arising.
야 고물들이 그냥 슝카시나야 나를 담자 매면 한 점이 하나 있어. 저도 나야. 고물들이 하는 게.
But sometimes Nagarjuna has made other statements, like for example in his Jodok, avoiding disputes. He maintained that because I have no position, I am faultless. But now here he is actually presenting a position, right? So it might seem like contradictory here. So why this is the case? Sometimes he says that he has no position. Sometimes he says this is his position.
Sometimes he is very serious. He had this promise or he had this consensus. Sometimes he is careless, become punks. He says, I have no permission. So
that confuses us. So whether the Madhyamika school has its own position or not, this is a subject of debate. A big topic within the Madhyamika tradition itself, whether we are talking about like Indian Madhyamika philosophers or Tibetan Madhyamika philosophers, whether the question of whether Madhyamika school has its own position.
배영아라 바주기 우마바랑로 담제 매다. 우마바이나 라노 담제 미리자.
The early Tibetan scholars, they maintain that Madhyamaka school has no position of its own. And they basically quote Nagarjuna from his reverting disputes. When Nagarjuna says, because I have no position, I'm faultless. And in that text, reverting disputes, Nagarjuna mentions that if I have a position, I possess fault. But because I'm without any position, I'm faultless. So, in India, how did Bhava Viveka interpret this statement by Nagarjuna that he has no position? Bhava Viveka interpreted this by saying that when he says he has no position with respect to things having true existence. That things do not have true existence, and Nagarjuna is not holding a position that says things have true existence in any of the four possible modes that we just discussed. And Chandrakirti makes it more subtle by saying that when Nagarjuna says that he has no position, what he's saying is that he's saying that he entertains no position where there is self-nature, rangshin, self-nature to phenomena, which basically, both of them basically points to kind of an object of negation. What is negated here is inherent true existence or self-nature. But the early Tibetan masters, they do not actually understand this statement in terms of kind of object of negation. What they are saying is that when Nagarjuna says that he has no position, they kind of have a literal understanding of this. And all the positions that the Madhyamikas have is in respect to positions held by other schools or interlocutors, but they don't have their own position. So they have a kind of great point here, because what they are saying is that if you are a true Madhyamika proponent, where you are accepting the pacification of all proliferations from the 8 extremes, then you don't. Then what is your position? You don't have position, because everything is free from all conceptual elaborations. So they have a very profound point. This is my own liking too. This is my inclination. So then to these early Tibetan masters, the rebuttal is, then why you actually take the trouble of actually engaging in philosophical debate. If you don't have any position to defend, why you're even engaging in debate? And they say that this debate is with respect to the opinion of others, position of others, to dismantle, to eliminate their doubts, to eliminate their positions, their doubts, their mistakes. But in terms of formulating one's own position, they say they don't have any position to formulate.
전다 첨부해요. 가서 랑로 담제 때문에 여기서 지는 지마시고 그래라. 지마. 왜 담제 뒤에서 지마 찍으러. 지마 좀 나는 가서 저바 잘 마서서. 다제마 저제마 차에 말서.
So they have a very profound point here, because if you cling to your own position, saying that this is the Madhyamika position, then
this is my opinion. It's very important.
Then you don't actually gain freedom from your grasping.
때로 아주 강하게 열어 왔다. 수수 3주 뒤 인생 아주 담부지 되기로 왔어.
So
좋다 인데.
Of course, this is something that applies to all of us. We also have our own clinging to our own position, and so much is the case with philosophical schools, which is the conclusion of their own hard-done analysis.
혼주대 앞에 구릉 상부지고다. 혼주대 다 같이 해봐신 칭호부 대립제바 지고마다 남도 좋아. 독숨제당 되게 주다 따지시거든. 혼주 강가 타바 돈이 정세다르다. 단대 잡아 좀 주다 좀.
So these
가서 부분은 제자고만 지나서나 시간 지제 제자고라 가지고 나두신. 어디 돈다 춘중 제자 직 지나서 돈다 춘중 디펜스 지거로 아주 라마타고 공부하는데 미기 셰바샤다 파도 디시게 파이 시게 라지 뜰때 제비거로 수족하 계매제 남주.
So and so therefore this is a very important topic, whether there is a position or not, whether Madhyamikas have a position or not. And the philosophical schools who maintain their own position, they are not doing that out of just love for knowledge. They are defending their position because they also aspire for liberation, which is much more substantial than our kind of position, which we kind of maintain because of our just attachment to our ordinary kind of perception.
Idealism, our own idea, our own opinion, any kind of background, history or knowledge, whatever we have, something we are too much intensively, very intense, we possessing this. And of course this philosophy talking over here, Shabbat, the Buddhist is lower and higher, those are, they from beginner, why they debate, why they learn this, because they're looking, searching, or their expectations are very different. They really want to achieve some wisdom that can eliminate ignorance. They have very good intention. It's not like some we are just talking in the just debating like the monastery system, or just debating what the Nagarjuna say, what Chandrakirti say, what this, that say, all they follow those masters, but they don't have their own opinion, they don't have their own the wisdom. Someday in the Western here, we have our own, too much independent insight, our own opinion is very important. So that this both are kind of a little bit nihilism, eternalism. So here we are talking beyond or free from eternalism, nihilism. So we are talking here middle way, which is our mind is not really medium there. Our mind just not really there in that medium there. We have some problem, different way, or eternalism problem or nihilism problem, right? So this is what is here. Position 담제 유명해 saying 진짜 처음에는 이제 개심 못 찾아.
So therefore, whether the question of whether Madhyamikas have their own position or not, sometimes it might look like it's very silly, but actually it's very, very important and profound.
알아서 다는데 제생인데 알아서 제 하고도 제 안서 그다 알아서 대도 상해 강 제를 알리고.
So, for example, when we think about conditions, we experience it. Whether we actually experience happiness or not is dependent on conditions.
다디 감도 다 젠데 젠시 담아 당 어쩌지 다디 담지 아마 다디도 다다 맞죠 어떤 텐데 뭐 손자 엄마바 이나양 켈레 여래 담자 요초그리 생이 삶아 패쳐거든 엄마바 인신제라 담자데 켈레 여는 그 말에서데 알아봐 패쳐거든.
So now, broadly speaking, those who maintain that Madhyamika school can have its own position is all the new Tibetan schools, most of the new Tibetan schools, like such as the Gelugpa tradition school, and those who maintain that Madhyamika philosophy does not have its own position is all what we call as the early Tibetan scholars.
당 안서 장루라 마다위 장루는 아주 잉마 안주르지선 조인 대인순서 장루 타제마와 인 송자 장루로 양 운징 짐바제니 안 담자데 켈레카 메스 데 고고 마레스 임바이나야 셴로도 세당 텐데 셰도 아니 셴의 지두셰셰 아니 롱리 빼당 저거당니 셴로도 세당 어 텐데 셴나 민족화 여 마레스 워 텐데 gendu화 여 마레스 동바를 때데 남자 가는 거 태외가 송자 텔네 너다 가면 두서 gendu 가면 두다.
So I am inclined to support the early Tibetan masters in their position, where they maintain that there is no contradiction in maintaining that Madhyamika school does not have its own position, but at the same time they engage in debate and maintain positions based on the position held by others.
가르스나 러번 다와 잡아 오면 주고나라. 랑게 따라 차당 대신도 현재 따라 투강 똑바니스. 오마바 진신절 랑게 따와라 차요 마 현재 따와 당고시요 마를 송을. 대신은 논주를 송을.
And Dawa Jandakriti himself mentions in his text, Entrance to the Middle Way, where he says, it is both wrong to entertain attachment to one's own view and to generate aversion towards the view of others.
The reason why I'm going to song Tenju leje sola chagoche manze namrushine tenyedins. Ka tenju na sheshaba jumde de song da ti gongde khanga ge 송샤에 가르스나 땡주 레지 쇠발 차버셔도 랑쇼 차야도 신라 다양시도 말이스 당고제시도 말이스 가르스나 남두치 땡스 라신이가 타바트웨시도 몽바세시도 띵세시도 그래서.
And then Jandakriti says that the reason for his composing of the text is not because of attachment to one's own view or aversion towards the view of others, but the purpose of his composing the text is to lead oneself and others to the state of liberation.
다 지으시는 마. 다 된대나. 다 지어와. 뭐 가도 지으시는 다 지으시대. 다나 감들 젠 따거요나. 딱지 젠데 젠 딱지 식으로 와. 젠 따거요. 딱서 그 젠데 가도 요래서나 군주부 낭수 토는 젠데 가도 요래서나 아 낭수 군주부 차는 젠데 젠시 담아 요래서 맞아 젠아 요 말했는데 만도 돼. 다 되는 말이시. 젠남시대 주단이 뭐 받잖아. 대만 다보야는 대신에 젠아 받는 요 많이 있어.
So then when it comes to the analysis of conditions, there are 4 conditions that we conventionally understand. And there's no 5th condition other than these 4 conditions. So this is basically explained in verse number 2. There are 4 conditions: the causal, the object, the immediately preceding, and the dominant. There is no 5th condition.
어디들이 당 안에서 빼는 젠디 다디 빼다고 샤는 믹다고 차샤와이나 믹다고 차샤와이나 다 내가 안 볼 때는 미시지겨로 와. 주. 내가 안 볼 때는 미시지와다. 미지 술 때니 안 미시지와다. 다 되는 미지 다 젠시 된다. 미지 유진 다진 대마 다진스.
So then what are the four conditions here? There is the condition of cause, there is the condition of object, then there is the condition that precedes immediately to whatever the product is, and then there is the dominant condition.
다 주당 내에서 제놈시도 주당 주도 주제에서 주제는 가서 뭐 하나 하나야 그 저치마 제제기 누가 영들 주세기를 해서 그래.
So what is the causal condition here? So what is the cause here? And this basically refers to the potentiality of anything to give rise to its latter result.
그 뒤편에 안아서 중화시도下山나 변 중시도下山나 디 차와 땅인데 저 가르는 것도 사실 롬바도 저도 추도 한 좀니 주진도 저 저당 추니 좀 주도 어떨 때니 아니 남지 중근데 아니 차와 땅도 와 차비 주도 어떨때도 와 저도 추니 차비 주도 와.
So for example, what is the cause of the rain? It is basically the heat and the water. Basically evaporation that contains both heat and water particles.
다 되게 빼셔 와. 나도 되는 안 줘배나 차다 몸좀 똑바지 육하래. 그래서 지정하면 용하면 가서 박자샤샤는 하는 주중으로 어때래? 차당 지직
so then
직사셔로 주 통하면 주저로 어디 주더 주진에서.
So then with respect to internal emotions, what is the cause? The cause is the imprint or pakja that is left on our consciousness.
다 미제에서 가르쳐 나다 야 미버칭아 세보바 오세야 오늘 세통에 가서 남도라고지나 남도라고 오늘 세토에 들었다 저建议过了吧나 차바에서建议오늘 줄 이동을建议오늘 줄이 미제 체체 될 때는 차바 오늘 줄지 여자 맞아봐체 유진되는 여와리데 오서 더 보는데 미진되는 오서 더 제제 배나 셈 시도 가와 용데 유 이동화식
So then what is the second condition? That is the objective condition. The objective condition is the immediate object that which we focus on. So for example, with respect to joy as an emotion, the objective condition is something that is pleasant to the mind. So whatever the object may be, whether it is like desire or hatred, that triggers the emotion that we have imprints of.
대마타진에서도 가서 다 발음하죠, 진짜. 뒷발을 젠생기 제주도 젠생 발음하죠. 발음하죠. 저는 대마타진에서.
So the immediately preceding cause, the immediately preceding condition here refers to, with respect to like desire or anger, the reality of uninterruptedness. That the thought is not interrupted. We see something bad, and that thought is not interrupted by other thoughts. Otherwise, if the initial thought was thought of joy, then it was interrupted. Then we experience suffering, for example. So then the fourth condition is the dominant condition because it dominates.
Oh yeah. 단지 제시의 메타랑 알아수 장주 전에 연매시랑 기아바이 플라소피 포인트 집에 있나스. 때 가서나 다도 전도니로 와. 전도는다고 자는다 미기 넘버 10 미기 남시 제단 차셔나 미기 남시 지지 중앙마들 주세. 와. 아니 미기 남시가 제인데 속다고샤. 대 속도 제인체. 남시 아니 아마 세릭 차디 윤트는 발 맞아 치마 세릭 니발 넣어야 되려 대마 다진스 다진스 명왕 명왕보다 다진스니 콜 때는 아니 나지 앙볼 때는 아니 왕시 찍어요 봐. 다진스 다 텐데지 살. 나 텐데지 다 디디 지당게 전도 셔봐라 그래.
So that was how we engage in our own practice, but in a more philosophical presentation, then this is basically with respect to the philosophical perspectives of the Vipassana and Sautrantika school. We can think this in terms of how eye consciousness perceiving an object is produced or generated, depending on these four conditions. So the causal condition is the unique.
제주 켈랭에 다들 망고 딱한 샤디 유진세 당 남시 지지 중앙마 샤디.
So the cause is basically the preceding consciousness that has the potential to give rise to the later consciousness, later moment of consciousness. And then the objective condition is the object that one with which one like a particular form, for example, a particular form that acts as the object. And then there is the immediately preceding condition, which refers to the continuity of clarity of the mind. And then there is the dominant condition, which refers to the eye faculty.
나지 앙보 하랑 오늘 그 하랑 옷 뒤쪽에도 상고 왕시 지직 중원의 체마데 앙보를 했어요. 앙보 체마 동도 등장. 등장 체마 말도 앙보 체마 동도 시라만 더 받으셔야 돼. 아까도 저랑 출연도 막 할 말.
So the Vipassana school actually also maintains that the validity or pramana, the valid cognition is actually the eye faculty itself, because depending on whether the eye faculty is correct or not, we can actually have a valid consciousness or not. This is really basically the view of the Vipassana school, and this is not the view of Tikanaga and Dharmakirti. For them, these two philosophers, two Buddhist logicians, the pramana, the validity, the valid cognition has to be necessarily a consciousness, not a faculty.
남배 세마도 제가 너 대원이야. 너 대원이야. sem장반이다. 세매 또 너좀 열어 봐. 아니 세마 샤도 들어야. 아니 세마이나 너 이미 찹. 세마 가는 거지나. 세마도 세매 남세도 유진 로를 마도 샤지 유 샤여 말에. 샤지 유를 타인정 말이. 세마 생기. 세마 딱 와르디.
So the Vipassana school of philosophy maintains that pramana or the authentic cognition is the sense, validity. Basically, pramana or validity refers to the sense faculty, and then the non-Buddhist Hindu philosophical schools, when they talk about pramana or validity, they also mention that sound is pramana. Sound is a kind of example of pramana or validity, and also the permanent self or atma is also pramana.
지우세마.
Is a pramana as a person, but for schools higher than the Viveka school of Buddhism, including Sotrandika and Chiddamatra and so forth, if something is valid, if something is pramana, then it necessarily has to be a mind, a cognition. So whether something is valid or not necessarily refers to cognition. So for those who are in the medical profession, when you study the human system, then when we talk about valid cognition, maybe it's better to follow Vipassana school of philosophy, because we understand that in terms of brain, nervous system, and all of these things which are kind of material
vibration
faculty.
Oh yeah,
so easier to actually understand.
Oh yeah,
so there is no fifth condition. Of course, we see many causes and conditions.
다지 사주는 야사 말아 봐. 돌두셔. 말해. 맞지?
그래, 가능하다.
그래. 다디 말로도 가서. 정아반은 예만이 가서. 가서. 나 공부 예만의 신경 거. 오늘 정아반은 예만이 가서. 누에?
들어서.
로로. 나 공부 예만아. 그 말해. 정아 예만. 我不能就让心见了说吧，有没影响？让心就准备，我不说这个让心，我不说这个心路他做过的，同他们修他做过的，见了说吧都买来是吧？工作强的见习的写吧，他一工作写的工作强的写下来嘛都，同谈罢了呀，我不心路强的，心路我不能就让心他都还是呢，见了说过了对吧？有买的是。
So then the next line says the intrinsic being, which is basically the self-nature, translation for self-nature or self-power. The intrinsic being of phenomena lies not in these conditions or in any others. So basically means from the point of view of ultimate mode of being or ultimate reality, the self-nature of phenomena does not lie in these conditions that we described earlier, or in others, but they lie in these conditions only from the point of view of conventional reality.
맞아. 다음 거 보면은 생각해봐 많이 넣었어. 그 공시에 나 다시 제와 나려야 다를 제와 신의 제와 가서 나시지. 전남에 내로를 제생 다들 신이갈 때는 도 왔어.
And then it continues, when the thing itself has no existence, the other also lacks existence.
다 근데는 자와제나 대만이 제나면 자와면서 안 가도 자제가 남자들 간대를 해서나 자제의 도양 라시 두배 찬 자제 자 말했어.
Then the next is the fourth
자와제나 대만이
that activity that has no conditions.
안 근데는 제나면 자와면 대해서 자제의 라시 마루나시 자제의 쟁허라 라시 좀 말했어. 자제 매매기 쟁요 말했어. 제나면 자와면서.
So just as there is no
쟁명이 자와디 아니 여 말했어.
So since there is no activity without causes and conditions, there are no causes and conditions that also exist on their own without causes and conditions. For example, going and the act of going.
자와 믿는 게 많이 자와도 넘바 매나 젠도 준저야마 젠스도 가서 자와 강지 제바면 저 강지 제바 제제 찬 젠샤워라 봐.
So then it says like if if without a condition it is not an activity. Without a condition it is not an action.
자와 믿는 게 많이 자와 되요는 나 너나 자와 된밤 자와 믿는밤 젠 여밤 젠매바 생인디 군주 마다왕샤 마도 따나 원대나 따나 네가 해봐요 말이지. 지지기 지지기 젠다 제자가 자와 강하는 와야 군주 차지고 마도 라신 집에 차리 원대지 여 말이지. 네가 되게 말이지.
So then the very question of whether there is an activity or not, and whether there are causes and conditions for that activity. Conventionally, both of these are valid. There is activity and there are causes and conditions that give rise to the action. But from the point of view of ultimate analysis, there are no actions, there are no causes and conditions that give rise to the action.
내주 가봐 매밤 내주 군조 왕점 전에 아니 줄 때는 저부지와다 젠 때는 자와 용어 되니디 될 차샤니 아니 젠스 타니 다고 좀 그래서 대다 라딘 제변나 대신 대다 젠지 차스
So
So
just from a conventional point of view, because of dependent causes conditions that there is action, therefore we conventionally say that there are conditions. That itself should be sufficient. But from the ultimate point of view, there are no conditions that give rise to action.
지세도 제나 때네 지세 군주베 제나 때네 대연 담배 라신 미제와 대세도 내다 제면 지달면 타니 군주베 제생인데 대연 담배야 라신 제 자와체마도 자지 매바 있나야 아니 그 제매와 차가 말했어 타니도 제했어 내다 제면 지달면 이미 있노스.
So therefore causes conditions in the conventional causes conditions as understood from a conventional point of view, even if they do not give rise to intrinsic reality of intrinsic existence of phenomena, it doesn't mean that therefore they do not become causes conditions. They become causes conditions only understood in the conventional realm.
단일로 삼다는 매당 옆에 전에 제너로 마인데 단일로 매방을 하시 옆에 전에 안 지지직 여다 매생 편도가 여 말스 여매 따지시 맞지 매당 옆에 전에 제너로 마인데.
So from the ultimate point of view, whether things have causes condition or not is actually not a valid point of inquiry.
단일로 매방 옆에 전에서 라시 여봐 단일 매방 라시 여봐 이 강원 당장 젠신데 너무 말했어. 단일면은 제 너무 말 와. 단일 매수자 단일 매수자 라시 가져 전에 지금 뭐 와. 매담스도 그 단일로 매방 옆에 전에서 라시 여봐 강원 자장 제 너무 말했어. 제 너무 많이 됐어.
So the notion of there being causes and conditions, whether we maintain the position that there are no conventionally existent things, or we maintain the position that there are no existent things from the point of view of ultimate reality, the analysis pertaining to causes and conditions is not viable in both of these cases.
다디 이제 더 말로 맨날 한거 진도 연어 진지 차.
correct number.
맨날 한거 진도 줄 연어 진지 차.
네가 저러시 디 쇼 verse number correct.
What's going on?
6 is okay. So for non-existent and existent things, conditions are not relevant.
맨날 한거 진도 줄 연어 진지 차.
For non-existent and existent things, conditions are not relevant. If things do not exist, what could these conditions be? If they exist, what would conditions do?
Oh yeah, det har så sånast. Tanje det menar. 안 젠sen데 가르던 샤고요. 그래서. The
meaning of this is that if things do not exist from a conventional point of view, then what is basically the point of what is the point of maintaining that there are no causes and conditions?
유나스도 가도 라시 줍되는 점에나 제 고문도 하고.
But
라시 줍서로 그 지지 고문도 하고.
but if things exist inherently or truly, then what is the point of actually they being caused conditions? Because they exist inherently without depending on causes and conditions.
Now what happened? Then what I do? What? 다 그랬어. 오야, 다 그랬어. 다 되는 막 강수 취는 여봐. 다 되는 다 제시 수수가고. 다시 제시가 지담가 지도. 제시 탄이들 요즘 잠들에 마도 전담을 안 제시 대매도 고문들을 제바신 시행 거지. 전담라 지지게 전다 제자당 가야 민두스인데 제시 지도가 다시 돼.
So up to here, the four conditions are negated by Nagarjuna. That four conditions do not make sense from the point of view of ultimate reality, but not like negated from the point of view of conventional reality. Just from the ultimate level, there are no. So this position is something that we should always keep in mind. You know, like things do not exist from the point of ultimate reality, but they exist conventionally. A mode of appearance that we experience when we do not engage in analysis. You know, then things appear to have causes and conditions, and then from the point of view of ultimate analysis, when we engage in kind of analysis pertaining to ultimate reality, then there are no causes and conditions.
Right. For example,
for example, conventionally speaking, when we think of cause, we of course accept cause because of cause there is effect. Because cause is referred to as cause because it gives rise to effect. And effect is also called effect because it has a cause. So that's why it's, we accept cause because based on cause it gives rise to some sort of effect, just like activity. But when we engage in ultimate analysis regarding both of these things, the cause and the effect the action that gives rise to, that comes about from the cause, then both of these things exist. So this is the analysis. Otherwise, this is something that we have to keep in mind.
Right. Otherwise, there is condition, there is no condition.
Read.
다 되는 뒤에 강제训练다见习수조 강을.见习수조 가야 돼. 주제 미제 대마타지 강제서도 강제.
So then from the 7th verse onward, when they say, when a thing is not produced, from here the four conditions are the four conditions that are individually negated or refuted.
다 당고 특수는 강제训练했을 때는 지달 주시차 때 봐도야. 아니 주제 깐 거. 주제 라신 주 받아 가지.
So when a thing is not produced, from here to how can they be talk of productive cause? This basically negates the causal condition.
강제训练여바다. 강제 뉴제 초 강제 안면 사도 여바다. 야나 나 요딩데 매바 차이 진디 주디 칸데 주진데 칸데 종원에서 라베나스 제가 두지 주시자. 주생디.
So it says, how is the productive causes produced? When thing is not produced?
예매 먼저 봐. 제대로 주시자. 다디 가자제는 셰바이나니 단단 셰바제데 주자지야셔. 군집차잖아. 아메사도 여바당. 야 여딩데 매바차야디 줄데는 조회순자 주시 타니 따오레스. 야 내로 제바나 라신 여바당 타니데 매바 니가 왕 당바이나 아니 주지 주생지 샤이문도 왔어. 단 주제나 주제 주생도 가렸어. 문도 왔어.
So, from a conventional point of view, when we think about something that arises because it was something that was not there arises, or when we look at something that is there cease to be, that is because of there being a causal condition conventionally. But from the point of ultimate analysis, then there is no such causal condition. Because asserting such a position that they are caused from the ultimate point of view is not viable. So this applies to the rest of the conditions, objective condition and so forth, where we have to understand these two levels. The conventional level, where there is a causal condition and so forth, but from the point of ultimate reality, there is no such causal condition. So therefore, with respect to the objective condition, it says on verse number 8, objective conditions of existing entities, it has been taught, are simply non-existent. In other words, because of the non-existence of these objective conditions, there is the existence of objective conditions. And if no entities are found, that is from the ultimate point of view, then how could objective conditions even arise or even exist? They do not exist. And on the ground of similar reasoning, then the next condition, immediately preceding condition, also do not exist. So the 10th verse is very important, actually, summarizing the entire essence of the teaching here, where it says, if things without intrinsic being are for that very reason non-existent, it makes no sense to say that when this is, that too arises.
니에베는 딘중이 잡아낸 테마니. 다 지난주 안 좀는데 까는 게 손스럽다. 제라망도 당주. 뭐야 단디 니 옆에는 대운이 중생도 태문도 하신죠. 지금 거 봐. 나시메라도 왔어. 뭐 나시메가 되신 옆에 되면서 왔어.
So this is basically like philosophical schools like Sotrantika and Vipashka refuting the Madhyamika position by saying that if you say that there is the non-existence of these things, the causes and conditions, then it doesn't make sense to actually follow the Buddha when he says when this is, that too arises, which is the dependent origination teachings.
어떤 상황에서 막 자직발에 단 되네마다 제다고 조사 샤지로.
So
다제 가이다 지도 전에 가야 지다. 나도 신이 가야 샤다. 제 수수기 되니 아니 가서 제 지당다. 제 제수다. 제 그라시당. 들을 강도와. 어다 니선다 니다 제다고 조사.
So then we see that first of all there is the collective refutation of the 4 conditions, followed by individual refutation of these 4 conditions. So this completes the first chapter on the examination of conditions. So now we're going to read the next of these verses. In conditions, single or together, the effect is not at all existent. Something that is not in its conditions, how from such conditions could it be produced? But if effects result from such conditions, even though in terms they don't exist, how should effects not also come from what are not conditions for them? Even if effects possess the nature of conditions like their own intrinsic being, how can effects produced from what has no intrinsic being have the nature of conditions? And so effects do not possess the nature of conditions of non-conditions. And since effects have no existence, what conditions and what non-conditions could there be for them? So this summarizes basically the Buddha's original teaching. Buddha in one of his sutras where he says, whatever arises from conditions do not arise at all. And the reason why the Buddhist materialists, Vipashka and Sutrantika, their positions are mainly refuted here, is because they maintain that when it comes to composite phenomena or produced phenomena, they exist because of causes and conditions. There is no other way to explain otherwise. So therefore, Nagarjuna is refuting the claim that things arise or exist because of dependence on causes and conditions. So for practitioners, as I mentioned earlier, it's better to apply this to our thoughts and particularly to our emotions of attachment and anger. So Chandagirdi mentions that all phenomena is merely conditional, that things do not have true existence because of their mere conditionality. So we discussed just one of these conditions here. So even in this lifetime, we have to depend on causes and conditions, whether we want something to experience, whether we are trying to avoid a particular condition. The ultimate reality cannot be changed.
유전 거면 도
No need for causes and conditions.
나도 생명하실라. 유전 거면 다 거들어.
Because like the nature of mind requires no causes and conditions.
딱 생군 좀 될라 때 유전 아무도 왔어.
But the conventional mind has many causes and conditions.
만지 박자 공부 박자 된다면 망부 주샤. 되네지. 딱제 망부지. 코리오당 수제 망부 중으로 와.
Like many karmic imprints, many environmental conditions.
different tradition 검시로 와. 다 되네 망부도 다 투샤고 되네. 돈아 쪼고 다 되다.
So this is something that we should keep in mind.
다 돈아 되는 아주 제생의 개침을 상당하지.
So therefore we should important how conditions are important.
유연한 지금도 유연한 지금도 되면 발라야 제행을 받고.
Cause is not sufficient. We need also condition for result to arise.
상당히 제적이 자기 중 아주 유여 바로 와. 된지 유여 바로 와. 얘나 뒤야 오늘 주는야 오늘 주제들 제체고도 와서 빼나.
For example, when we talk about anger and attachment, these of course the cause, which is our own latent karmic imprint. For many lifetimes we have this, but we have to look at conditions.
Okay,
that's the main point.
장주 샘조를 모체 마제 반난제 개와 냠바 메바영 코네 공도 배와서 투체 한가로. Good night.